Speaking of David Hume's radical empiricism and the problem of induction, Immanuel Kant wrote, "I freely admit that the remembrance of David Hume was the very thing that many years ago first interrupted my dogmatic slumber and gave a completely different direction to my researches in the field of speculative philosophy." In this lecture, we will explore Kant's critique of pure reason, in which he directly responds to David Hume's arguments regarding knowledge. It will be helpful in studying Kant's philosophy to first define a few terms. A posteriori knowledge is knowledge obtained through experience. A priori knowledge, on the other hand, is knowledge gained independent of experience. Analytic propositions are statements in which the predicate is contained within the concept of the subject. For example, "all bachelors are unmarried males" is an analytic statement because the concept of bachelor contains the concept of unmarried males. Synthetic propositions are statements in which the predicate concept is not contained in its subject concept, but is related to it. For example, "all swans are white" is a synthetic proposition because the concept of swan does not contain the concept of white. According to Hume, there are only analytic a priori and synthetic a posteriori judgments. If Hume is correct, then the problem of induction is very real. As we discussed in the video series on Hume, the problem of induction compels us to conclude that we cannot obtain certain knowledge, but rather only probable knowledge. Kant, however, believed that there are synthetic a priori truths. Specifically, he believed that all mathematical propositions were examples of this type of knowledge. Kant asks the reader to consider the expression 7 plus 5 equals 12. There is nothing in the concept of 7 or plus or 5 that comprises the concept of 12. Therefore, it is not an analytic truth, but rather a synthetic truth. Furthermore, we do not solve this mathematical expression by appealing to experience. We solve it through pure reason, which makes it an a priori truth. So, Kant concludes that synthetic a priori truths do exist, contrary to Hume's claim. Having proven the existence of synthetic a priori truths, Kant next turns to the question, is it possible to know things in themselves? In order for something to be an object of knowledge, we must experience it. But according to Kant, we can never directly experience anything. He argues that our perception of reality is the result of a combined interaction between objects and the internal structures of our minds. Just as a person who is wearing rosy-colored glasses sees everything as possessing a rosy-colored hue, so too does our mind filter external objects through the forms of time, space, and causality. This leads him to conclude that it is impossible to have knowledge of things in themselves, and thus he believes that he has conferred an inestimable benefit on morality and religion by showing that all the objections urged against them may be silenced forever by the Socratic method, that is to say, by proving the ignorance of the objector.